Hey, what's going on? Strat Soldier here for the podcast In Force, the only podcast with me, the Strat Soldier, looking at the market through the eyes of the Strat. We're going to do something new. We're going to start doing some monthly recaps, some quarterly stuff, and we got JJ on. We got JJ on the line. Long time listener, first time caller.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
heck yeah, heck yeah. So he's here, and then so this is not the. I want you guys to know this is not the weekend shift, so to speak. He was on the weekend shift, but this is not the weekend shift. So we're gonna be doing. We got some opinions. We got some things we're gonna be looking at. Of course, the strat's always objective, but this is a little bit more fun conversation. Again, you know how we do in force. I'm always doing these for the people that got long commutes or they don't have time to just stare at all the charts. We might look at some charts and flip through things. If you really, really, really want to look at the charts, I'll be posting this on YouTube as well. But it's mainly for the people that, like I said, they just want some audio. They're sitting at their desk, flipping through charts when they're supposed to be working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was going to talk about that. Speaking of that, I wanted to talk about. I'm probably going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow on the weekend shift. I even when I was trading with Rob, I thought I had to be in every move, like everything. Like I had my phone and I'm just going through the charts. And of course, I was posting on Twitter and we're cutting up and stuff. And then, but my trading was also like it was not necessarily lacking, but I could have been a lot more winning positions and I could have been not taking so many losses if I was focusing on my job and then just focus on stocks because stocks I can set up with TradeStation anyway. I can set stop market buy orders while the market's closed, and then just see if it triggers in the daytime and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like you set my stops, set my buys, set my stops, and then let the program work for me, as opposed to just like all day long flipping through charts, like trying to do stuff and like trying to be in meetings, not really listening. I'm back here doing this. you know, so I think it was 2020, end of 2023, and I had like I don't want to say it's an epiphany, but I had what alcoholics like to call it a moment of clarity. I
They
was
have
like,
it. They have it.
yeah, I'm like, this is stupid. I'm the strat soldier and I'm trying to be in every move and I am getting not necessarily wrecked, but I'm not making as much money as I should be making because I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to do my job. I'm trying to, do the promoting stuff. I'm trying to teach people. It was just too much. And that's when I I started moving this. I'm going somewhere with this, JJ. That's when I started shifting the idea and I started doing it on the weekend shift. I'm like, I need to start talking to people that are in situations with me, just like me, and we're gonna focus on monthly and weekly trades and even quarterly and yearly trades where like we don't have to watch the charts all the time. Like I was talking to people, I was doing some one-on-ones with people and they're like, I can't be on my phone. I have 12-hour shifts and they catch you on your phone like you are done. And you know,
Right. That's
I'm
no
like,
good.
yeah, there's not too many factories out here anymore. Not yet. I know the president is trying to fix that, but some of these factories and some of these other jobs, like you no, you can't be on your phone. I talked to a train conductor. He calls himself Samuel Jackson, and no, Sam Adams. Sam Adams. I'm sorry, and he's a train conductor for real. And he's like, you think you would be able to be on the phone while you're, because it's just a train. It's got tracks. What are you gonna do? But no, there's cameras in the cab, like you in the train engine, whatever they call that. And no, you can't be on all that. So this helps. This conversation has definitely helped this. That's where I'm going with this, JJ. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
just
We get an opportunity to talk about how we're going into we're going right into the middle of the year,
hmm
right? And so we got a new month coming, and we got a quarter eroding.
yes.
right? Because we're losing
Yeah.
time. We're losing time on the. So whenever I'm at the beginning of the quarter and the end of the quarters, I pay special attention to see how what kind of foot they come off with right away, and then looking back, where were we for the first, for the first 2 quarters of the year?
Yeah.
So that's where we're at here now, and we will finish that quarter up at the end of June here now.
Yeah.
July 1st, we'll be getting a new quarter, and just looking at the spy right just on the quarter right now. You had a shooter down outsider,
Yeah.
and you got what looks like a really big hammer
Yeah.
coming back up,
It could
right?
be an amazing hammer
Yeah,
very
it could
soon.
be. Yes, it
Could
could be
be.
for sure. Could be.
But I mean,
It's
we talk about exhaustion risk, and it only has to get to 613, 614, and it's
six
at
thirteen 23
yes,
for
that's
the
it.
number.
I have the same thing. Okay, good. Good, we have the same thing. So, yeah, it don't have to go that far to be at all-time highs again. So then what are they going to do? Are they really going to start are the tariff talks are going to start coming up again? Are they going to move to another what are they going to do to shake this up is what I'm trying to say. What do you think that they're just going to let it grind into the highs, or you think they're going to do something silly?
I don't know. I got a kind of a different. Maybe here. I want to give an example. All right, a stock that was up 25%
Hmm.
for this month was Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and they got
and
they got him
and
back. I already
right,
interrupted, but they got him back. They were like,
I
but
know,
but the headlines are also that the damage is already done. That's also
right.
the headline. So,
Well, 394 was the number that you're hunting for. There's no
hmm.
way you're going to get that number. So um, some of us kind of played off it. If you look at the weekly on Tesla,
Okay, going to the
it
week.
is shooter down to the ground.
Oh, why are you doing
Okay.
this to
So
me?
you want to tell me that
Ah,
Tesla was up 25% and it just gave up the last week of
yeah,
so you see that? See
yeah,
that shooter down?
yeah.
Again, I'm looking at the market from the perspective of looking back and saying, okay, 2024 was just an amazing year, man. Okay.
Hmm.
Simple
Yeah,
stuff, right? I mean,
yeah.
if you look back at 2024 from when it started, and I'm looking at it right now, that was from the real big move was from October up until, the highs of December, which got all the way back up to $610.
Hmm.
And all we had was one little shooter come in on a quarter. And
Yeah,
now here
and
we are. Now here we are with a hammer coming back up.
so, yeah, and that also brings up a good point because I keep saying if you can only say we're going to bring tariffs to every industry, you can only say tariffs so many times before the market goes, okay, tariffs, and they just let's move on.
Oh,
They
it's
just move
already
on.
there. It's
Yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
already there. Yeah, for
So
sure.
they did the same thing with, inflation, inflation this, inflation and that, and that's what really started the um the buying at the end of 2023 into 2024 is because they were like, well, we might do we might do some rate cuts because inflation's starting to come down a little bit. It was just a rumor, and it just everything just took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you remember those headlines. Everything
Right,
just
right,
took
right.
off because everybody got sick of, well, inflation this and inflation that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like I said, um, I'm more inclined here coming into this second half of the year. Like you said, you talk about tariffs, right? And I think that half the people agree with it and the other half don't. So here's we are again. We're still divided, pretty much down the middle.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day. Um, Tariffs aren't going to, I thought the tariffs were going to pay for the tax cuts,
Oh
but,
yeah. Hmm.
that's not probably not the case now. So I'm looking at the market. I'm saying that we're still pretty stretched here.
Yeah.
I think we're still pretty stretched here. I think I'm like what I've talked about a lot is I'm watching these 10-year treasuries. I'm watching the dollar pretty closely, and
Hmm.
we're looking for things that are going to break there. Now, we got June coming up here. Fed will talk. Fed has to make a decision this month,
Yeah.
and certain people want him to cut rates, and other people are might differ. And so what I would say is that do we get a rate cut in the mid June? I would say that it's real iffy. I
Yeah.
think it's iffy. I don't, somebody's not going to be real happy if they don't get what they want, and that's
Yeah.
the way it goes.
And I love it how Jay Powell's just a straight gangster about all of it. He's just like, you can't fire me. What you gonna do? Come at me,
Right.
bro.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, and I think that Don has has an idea that he thinks he can this brings in revenue
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, if you look back in history, tariffs have never really been, they don't bring the lion's share home at the end of the day.
Right.
So I think that, and everyone on TV is tired of it.
Yes.
That's for sure. Like,
Yes.
and then there's those guys that are behind him 100% push and say, "Oh, go, 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 go." And so I think that so I am my thoughts though, I'm watching the 10-year treasuries, and we could go back to like the early 80s, when the markets were starting to fall, and what happened was the treasuries started to drop and the bonds started to drop.
Oh.
And and the government decided that it was more important to save the bond market than to let the stock market survive. So what
Oh.
happened was the stock market fell, incrementally. And then we had that whole 80s that early 80 problems with Reagan with the housings and everything
Yeah.
that happened. So
Hmm.
what I would say is that I don't say that I see that happening again by any stretch of the imagination, but there has to be a correction here for me.
Hmm.
Like I said, if we want to triangle out the entire market right now on the S&P 500, what, 89, 99? We're 35 bucks away.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And
go ahead.
I was gonna say, going back to Tesla, that's this week.
Yeah.
This
See that
weekly,
week?
yeah, it opened up at 347 and the close was 346.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound dramatic for everybody that's driving somewhere or just sitting at home listening to audio. It doesn't sound dramatic, but it went up $20 and then came back down $20. I don't know why you pointed that out to me, JJ. I was having a good time thinking about my Tesla trade. Oh, I gotta show you. I gotta show you. I don't know if I don't know if. Let me see if I could do this because I'm gonna have this on the show tomorrow. I told you I was getting food for the kids, and I ain't gonna lie, I had some too. I don't know if you could see that. No, you can't. You can't. Oh, do you see
Oh,
this?
hey, that's a bombardier.
Hold on. It's a Tesla truck.
I see it.
And look what it's got on the. Look at the wheels.
Oh, dude, those are badass.
Yeah, I've been saying that
Look
since
at those rims.
2020. I've been saying it since 2020, 2022. 2022, all they need to do is get these Tesla trucks to a point where regular people can buy them, and then Rico down the street put spinners on it and make it look bad and then amazing, and it's going to take off. And it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen. Finally. Rico's
Listen,
gonna Rico's gonna fix this shooter. This shooter on the week's not gonna go enforced, and it's because of that picture. I'm telling you, JJ.
listen. I know you love this stock. Um, I'm gonna say this, man. Those rims in Chicago, you better
Yeah,
have them in the garage because they're gonna be gone in like 10 hours,
you better have them in
and
the
they're gonna leave
garage.
that thing on bricks.
That is so funny.
No
It's
armored
true.
truck or anything else you got. I'll tell you right now, those
That's
rims are gone. Those babies are solid, man. Come on. Those are probably like 10 dimes a piece,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's 40 dimes in rims with the spinners. I mean, they're badass looking. You
yeah,
can pull that off in Indiana, man, all day.
yeah, all day. Yeah, but yeah, you can park it in your driveway. Leave it
Right. I mean,
overnight.
I see them out here in Chicago, we see them, but
Uh-huh.
these guys are, they're locking their car up in a warehouse.
So
So
twenty
that's
dollars up. Go ahead. I'll just say Tesla, $20 up, $20 down, and that's the and so I tried to trade Tesla a while, like I don't know, a couple years ago, just options, and it's horrible because the options are like $30 options, and the options talk. So for people that don't know too much about options, uh, a $30 contract is a $3,000. So that's pretty crazy. So,
yeah,
um,
that's yeah.
but people are buying them. People are buying these crazy things. Anyway, I just say that to say they're pretty expensive. And what really helped me trade Tesla was just buying the shares, buying a reversal on a weekly or monthly, setting my stops and just letting it go. Now, hopefully, you know what I mean. I probably should push my stops up underneath that shooter, just so I can get stopped out with profit. Because earlier this year, I mean, it went all the way. Oh man, I only had a few shares on this thing, and it was up $700 in profit, and then it just traded sideways and then down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was
I
you
I
say?
just
Go ahead, Tesla.
I think I Tesla's not in trouble by any stretch of the imagination.
Hmm.
But what I would really again in my bigger picture, um, and I go back to the S&P 500.
Okay.
What I would really like to see is just really um, as much as I'm looking at all these, we have a literally like over a couple hundred stocks that are inside week. All right.
Mm. Yeah.
So that is a valuable tool for us to have.
Yeah.
All right. And the reason why it's a valuable tool is because we're going to be able to, because I break everything down by sector. So
Yes.
I'm going to be looking at all the sectors. So,
So do I.
if
Hmm.
the XLPs, because what happened today in the last couple of days, the staples have all of a sudden been better. So that the staples are telling us that the market's getting a little defensive.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Typically, when we get Colgate and
Yeah.
Palmolive and and all these stocks, Dr. Pepper and
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Mondelez and Oreo cookies, those are staples that that people have to buy.
Yeah.
Okay, these things are have to buy. You have to buy toothpaste.
Hmm.
You have to buy soap. Okay,
Hmm.
Procter and Gamble is another one in that group. So what I did see is I saw those lift today. So that kind of like gives me maybe a little bit more insight into say that hey, you know what, maybe the market is getting a little defensive, and and they crapped out at the end of the day on this XLP as it was anyway. So,
Yeah.
but it was in like the one thing you did notice at the end of the day today was that the all the futures finished 2-2 down on the 15s in red.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that was a nice ending.
And then well, I remember Rob always saying that when they go into XLU, because XLU is definitely a defensive position because that's where they're hiding their money. So you're saying when they go into XLP, it's the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing exactly,
Okay.
right? It's all, XLU is the same way. And XLU stalled out big time.
Mm-hmm.
Over just I mean, you just look at the weekly, you could see it
Yeah.
stalled
Inside
out big
week.
time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's stuck
Yep.
in the middle with you
Yeah.
last week, and it's trying to hammer up this week with an insider.
Since you're talking about consumer staples, you gotta look at my one of my good friends, Bud, Bud.
Oh, that thing's already been, that thing I think already did its job.
Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
it's
actionable
taking everything
signals.
out. Yeah,
No
we're
actionable
just,
signals for the month, but that was a nice triangle layout. And it started.
yeah, it took a few years, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
I mean
yeah.
it was way down there though. But no, I mean yeah, this thing is already, yeah, this thing's done a lot of work here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what old time highs are.
Let me
I
see
mean, this thing
here.
was 126.62. I'm just looking back here right now.
Yeah, let me see here.
And that's 2017
Yeah.
when it
I
was
got
the
20.
most
Yeah.
popular beer in the world.
Yeah. I mean, but then look at that yearly chart. It's outside year.
I
It's
know.
scenario three on the year. Ooh.
Yeah, it's made a good comeback. It really
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Um, does it keep advancing from here? Yeah, I mean, take it up to 100. It's
Yeah.
fat as hell then. Yeah, I want everything to be super fat.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
I want fat, lazy, little fat, lazy candlesticks that have
yeah.
been that are eating too much and are sitting up on the
Yeah.
highs eating the hog, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for
Hmm.
us. What I'd really like to see is a nice spike here. Get
Hmm.
because I think what'll happen. I think this. If we get
Okay.
through the highs, we're we're definitely going higher.
Hmm.
Okay. And that that
Okay.
push, that push, and I don't know when, where, how, but all I know is that if I do get that spike that comes up, I will be looking for shooters that start to come down like Tesla. Okay.
When
That's what
things
I'm gonna be
start.
looking for. I'm gonna be looking for things that spike up and then
Okay.
stall out. And then now you're in all-time highs. If we're looking at it from the S&P 500, I'll pull it up and I'll just give it kind of a roundabout idea. Right. So if we get through 613.23,
Hmm.
I have no idea how much higher we're gonna go from there. We
Hmm.
don't know, right?
Right.
But I would say if we get anywhere around this, possibly like 63, like 613, so maybe up
Yeah.
like another 27, $28 up higher.
Hmm.
And then we will be at the top of the broadening formation, which is that's
Hmm.
we're sitting on the roof now looking at it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
then we're just gonna look for that one that comes in somewhere. Hopefully it's a monthly.
Hmm.
Um, it could be a weekly, but something to get real juicy. We're going to need a bigger time frame. I mean, a weekly is a good time frame. It's a very good time
Yeah.
frame. It can turn things around. Um, so
But
that's
why?
what that's in my world. That's what I would like to see. So right now I'm kind of bearish, but I really want the market to just rip here, so it can get fat as hell.
But it's okay. Steve Burns put out a tweet earlier this week that said the most bullish indicator or the most bullish signal is something sitting at all-time highs. And
Yeah.
that's, yeah, because everybody's just like keep buying it, and that makes sense. Um, so I guess why would you look at Tesla on the weekly if that's a shooter? Let's just say spies at all-time highs, and then you're looking at Tesla on a shooter, but why?
Well, because
Hmm.
I was basically right before I said that. The first thing I
Oh,
said that
okay.
it was up 25% for the week.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right, or maybe it was the month. All
Hmm.
right, the thing was up 25% for the month. When I tell my people in my room, you're not
Hmm.
buying that. You're not buying Tesla up 25%.
Yeah.
And we know that we're chasing 394 to try to get that month, and they just tried so hard to get there. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I like
Yeah.
saying this all the time.
Yeah. It
I
looks
like the
like.
guy who bought Tesla to this week at $367.71.
Yeah.
Now I would have been asking myself, saying, "Well, how the hell are you going to get to 394 from
Yeah.
367?"
Yeah.
That's the way I look at things. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so now we're at 390, 368. Okay, right? Let's say that's the number.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you're chasing 394. It's like, you're still long gone, man, before you're gonna get that number.
Yeah, the buyers, I say this all the time, the buyers have to keep buying.
Right.
As soon as they stall out, as soon as they stop, then
They just
then
follow their own weight.
yep. And then I got it. Then people start taking profits because they get bored. And then you bought it at this price, and then I bought it at this price, and I'm not taking the bath on this either. So then I got to cut it. So then it just dominant, to the lows.
Yeah, I get it. I think that
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that trade in bigger size, and
Hmm.
they use these like $10 moving averages, because they're up 40 bucks on the stock.
Yeah.
So they'll use like a $10 or, whatever it is, whatever you want to protect. I
Yeah.
think that's up to the trader. Um, you don't want to, as I say all the time, I don't want to, I don't want to stay in this position, and I don't want to get out of this position. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I want to continue to squeeze as much as I can out of it without
Yes.
trying to not, without trying to get out. That becomes a very tricky, it plays on your psyche.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to play in your head, and you're going to be like, like I'm long Boeing. Boeing spiked up the other day,
Uh-huh.
and Boeing went up to 212 on that news that came out that they're going to build some planes for China.
Ah.
Somebody up in Washington might not be happy about that, but
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right,
3-2 up on the month. Yeah. And it's
right.
up
So Boeing, right? You see it?
13%. Yeah.
So it
Up there.
spiked up to that 12 bucks that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching it. It got up to 212.52. And I hadn't sold any of my position yet, and I'm long from like 168,
Wow.
169, something like
Nice.
that.
That's really, really good.
Okay. All right. So I don't have a ton of shares, but I have a decent position. All
Yeah.
right. So, and now this is all everyone's different. Everybody makes their decisions about how they want to do things. But I see these things spoke up, pops up to 212 here. It hadn't gotten that higher, since, well, 212. All
The
right.
last time it
It
saw
no, it
260.
would have been here. Yeah, 212.28. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the quarters right now, and
Okay.
there's no other bigger there's no I mean I could go back and find them in more months, but looking at it short term, there was no other magnitudes up there.
Yeah.
So I sold some stock at but like 211 and change.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be looking to buy some more when it comes down.
No, that's good. That's smart. So
So
yeah. I would say that's what I would ideally want for my Tesla trade is to I bought some while it was low, and I want to add to my winning position, and then as it's the markup. I'm trying to use words while it's moving up, and then you got those accumulation, the distribution, accumulation, all the words, as it's moving up, and then you have those little temporary sell-offs, and then it's moving back up again. Uh, but then the buy, add back to that position, but then the initial cost of the original position is still there. I mean that's what you're talking about on Boeing, and that's what I ideally what I would want for Tesla if it gets their act together.
right. And I think there's another part of the psyche here. It's like the minute you start to the minute you start that you want to start tightening up your position, and
Hmm.
and now all of a sudden it's like you're thinking about tightening this stop up. The first thing that goes into your mind is that why should I stop it out? Why don't I just get out?
Oh, uh-huh. Hmm.
So this is a
Yeah.
this is a decision that traders, this is something that every trader themselves has to figure that one out. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? What makes sense for you? But that's one of the things that I talk to my guys about. It's like, okay, well, if we're protecting, then why the hell, what are we protecting from?
Right.
And
Hmm.
where's the fear coming from? If we lose a weekly, like I said, Tesla was a Tesla was a nice drop. I like to see. I love it when Tesla goes down. Okay, I will always do that, and because I'm always like because the thing is the biggest bull in the world, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like the
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bear in the woods that shows up and like sticks him once in a while. And then I
yeah.
run away back into the woods again. You know what I
That's
mean?
so
That's me.
funny.
That's me. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that comes out and says, "Hey, ha ha, I got him this week." That's why I said.
Oh
That's why I
my
put it out there. I'm
gosh.
like, ha ha. You
That's
know,
hilarious.
Rob used to when Rob was down on the trading floor. Um, he 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 had a we had all the we talked about this before about these V accounts,
Yeah.
but when he became a specialist, when Rob became a specialist, he wanted to he got into a dispute with the exchange because he wanted his so everybody had a four-letter give up for a specialist. You know, you were like most of them were like around their names. You know, it was
Oh,
be
okay,
like
okay.
Benny Beni, or there was you know Tammy. There would be Tame or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but Rob's handle wanted to be ha ha. So it's like every time you come through me, you're gonna get it. Ha ha. So he was so pissed. He was so pissed, like he went all the way back up to to upstairs in the exchange,
Yeah.
and they shut him down. They're like, "No, you can't use ha ha." He was so unhappy. It was like
Oh,
depressed
that's
for like a week.
hilarious.
He's like, I can't believe it won't let me make my happy. I'm trying to think. His V account was V Rob, VROB, just
V
about like
Rob. That's
yeah, V
awesome.
Rob. Yeah, but yeah, he wanted to be ha ha. Like any order that comes through me, ha ha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Oh man, that is
So
funny.
yeah, so that was a memory that just popped up as we were talking there. So yeah, again, again, it's something to talk about. Um, there's so much that goes through your head as a trader, you
Yeah.
know. There's a lot of psychological stuff going on there. You know, I have all these words written around here,
Hmm.
confidence,
Yeah.
patience. You
That's
know what I
good.
mean? I have all these words. They're meaningful, So,
Yeah.
passion. You got to like what you're doing here. You
Hmm.
really got to be into this thing.
Hmm.
If you're out there and you want to, and you're gonna, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna learn how to trade the stock market. It's like, no, Bo, that's not how it's gonna work, man. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy at all.
No, and
And they, people, a lot of the things that we see on Twitter,
hmm
and they make it appear as though you're going to make money immediately, or
yeah,
you're
and
going to do this. Oh, I did this trade today and this morning in 19 minutes and I made $2,700. You
yeah.
see all this business, It's like maybe some of this is true, maybe some of it's not. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you don't know anything about this and you think you're going to go in there and you're going to do that, that is not going to happen.
No, and it's not. It's definitely not realistic because I've started telling people the kind of the same things. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin anybody's dreams or anybody's like vision they have for themselves. I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I got to tell you, yeah, you don't know how much they have in their account. You don't know if they're full porting this whole thing. You don't know if they're putting all the chips in every time they trade. You don't know how much they're in debt because of all the failed, blown up accounts, and you don't. Along with that, you don't know if it's a prop firm. You don't know if they're using someone else's money, which there's nothing wrong with prop firms, nothing wrong with prop firms, but you don't know if they're using someone else's money. And it's easy to, I think it's easier to be like, okay, well, I made $2,000 on this because I bought 30 stocks or 30 shares on blah, 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 when it's not your money. Like, you know what I mean? When it's your money on the line, and like I was talking about at the beginning of the show, like I'm ignoring meetings, trying to get in these trades and do things because it's your money on the line. Like it's different. It feels totally different. So and then a lot of these people that are like, well, I made, like you said, $20,000 in 19 minutes. They're also at home. by staring at screens. They're not like me. They're not like the people in the strat camp
Right,
that have full-time jobs. You know what I mean? They
right.
they have full-time jobs. They don't have time to, you're on the mic all day long, JJ. You got it. You got it. And that's awesome.
And
But a lot
and
of people, they're not doing that, you
and
know?
that's so true too that you say
Hmm.
that because
Hmm.
like even today, um, one of the things that I use a lot is I use a lot of connotations about war and stuff like that because and
Yeah.
it's so funny that you're that you're connected like that with the soldier. But I read intensively about the Civil War and the World War
Hmm.
One and World War Two. I love American history.
Yeah.
And what I say is that we don't get involved in something until we get our marching orders, okay? We
Yeah.
got to know where
Hmm.
the hell we're going before we even start to leave.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when I say, okay, this is, Tesla 394, guess what? Tesla is going to go to 394, okay?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
probably going to go even higher than that. And I think
Hmm.
that most people believe that. And it's probably the case. But right now, it does not have marching orders. Okay. Now they've gone back into the foxhole and they got to regroup. And what does
Yeah.
that mean? That
Hmm.
means they have to triangle A out, right?
Yeah.
So, and
Yes.
when I look at Tesla and I look at that shooter coming down, my thoughts is it needs to get back into this 270 area,
Hmm.
270 area,
Yeah. You don't have to
say,
be quiet.
I'm
It's
say it
okay.
quietly.
I
I'm gonna say it
understand. It's
quietly.
fine.
I'm gonna
I,
say like two. I think in this 270 area somewhere in there.
270, that's pretty deep.
Try
Golly.
triangle that back out,
That's pretty
because
deep. That's two targets down, even three. 270, that's all that's a deep. That's not triangle layout. That's a reversal.
right. Well, I mean,
Triangle layout, I'm like first target, second target, and then consolidates and goes back to the highs. Like you're talking 270. 270 is gonna
I'm thinking somewhere below. Yeah, somewhere breaking
let
below
me get
somewhere
my
312.
let me get my lines out.
If we break below through 312. Okay. All
Mhm.
right. On the weekly, if we
I'm
were to
looking
break
at it.
down there at 312, that puts us into that area where it could get a little cagey. All right. And we get down there, that's 270 right there. All right. So I would say that if we could just triangle all this out right here from where we are now. I mean, a lot of guys got burned on this stock this week. They might not be so fancy to go be getting back in there again right
Right,
away.
and that's what I like about the strat is because we can look at this and go, it might go to 390, but there's a shooter on the week. Let's wait and see. And that's why I like
Right,
the
and
strat.
will
Yeah.
it go into force? Won't it?
Yeah.
Guess what? It'll probably go into force, and then it'll probably come back up, and then it'll probably go back down again.
So I know
And
you're trying to be nice. So if this thing triangles they out, I'm looking at the monthly chart, triangles they out all the way back down to 270. If I got in at 295 on the monthly chart, that was awesome. I'm still good. No reason to get out. But if the next month or month or two completely triangles all the way out back down to 270, it would have hit my stop at
right,
270. And that's devastating.
and that, well, that goes back to what we talked about earlier. It goes right back to what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's if you're long if you're long below 270, then
Uh-huh.
you're going to be hanging around for a while.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
so I would say that yeah, I think that at least come down and break out that weekly pattern that it's in right now with that. You got that two up, and then you got that shooter that really doesn't look
Yeah.
like a shooter because it doesn't have it's
Yeah.
got a wick on it and it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
And then, but that shooter that we got there, that's sexy. That's coming down,
Yeah.
all right. And
Yeah. That's
that
gonna,
that's a
yeah.
pivot.
that
So
definitely looks like it will
that's a
go in
pivot.
force. Hmm.
That's a pivot. So that again, if but what I think the back to what I was saying is that you are going to 394, but until you regroup and then get this thing right, and
Yeah.
the question is, time is the
Hmm.
whole game, right? So
Yeah.
how long will I mean? How long will it take for Tesla to take this shooter back up? I mean,
Yeah.
it could be if everybody's there and it's right, it could happen in 2 hours.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah. It goes
the
up.
odds of that happening might not happen.
Yeah. It goes $20. It goes $10 up and $10 down every time it moves, and that could be on a daily chart. Like it's
Right.
if you're not prepared for that,
Yeah, don't
it will.
trade it then.
Yeah, it will mess you up. So I'm looking at, I ran the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner on my side for inside bars on the month, and oh wait, hold on. It was looking only in tech. Let me run this again. That ain't right. I was like, there's only six inside, that's not right. All right,
Inside months?
yeah, that's not right. Let me do this again. You keep on talking while I figure out my stuff over
What kind of stocks are you looking at?
it only ran through tech. There's only six
Because I got
inside.
like I I haven't finished going through everything, but
Wow.
I
There's
haven't
that
gone
that
fin.
many, huh?
Oh, I got well over right now. The only I got banks,
Mm-hmm.
I got staples,
Mm-hmm.
um, and
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
I got some energy, and
Yeah,
I
there's a
got
lot more.
some
So
and I got discretionaries.
if I go to
McDonald's is inside month
yeah, so looking at the sectors, since we talked about that, we did talk about a lot about Tesla just because, there's a lot
because
going on
everybody
with
loves
Tesla.
it.
Yeah. So the only you got XLE inside of the month, and you for June, and that's the only sector that has an actual signal for the month. Everything else went hammer and force two up. So looking at the sectors,
XLE.
tech,
I got shooter down month on
yep,
XLE. Yes, I do.
uh, tech went two hammer.
Yeah, I'm talking inside months now,
Yeah. So
right?
inside months. That's what I'm saying.
Actionable
Yep.
inside months.
So looking at the sectors, the only one that's inside month that I see on my side is XLE.
Look at Exxon.
Mm-hmm.
Exxon.
Mm-hmm. X yeah, dead in the middle.
Look at Chevron.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go through.
Yeah. So that I mean that could be interesting. I got so running my the Strat Soldier Easy Setup Scanner on TrendSpider one more time. I looking at the entire S&P 500. I got 139 inside months, and that is a lot.
That's probably about right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's a lot.
Yeah, we got AbbVie.
And then there's a lot of weeks too now.
Hmm.
I mean, more than I've seen in the last couple
And that's
months.
that's what I was telling the people on the weekend shift last week, and then if there people anybody that's in the Strat camp, you got an email as well saying, "Hey, there's no reason like me." One of my favorite lines from Jimi Hendrix: "No reason to get excited, no reason to get excited." Like it's inside week,
Exactly.
yeah, inside week, doing nothing, and if you're in something good, awesome, but don't force it.
Right.
Going back to those people that are like, hey, it's funny. I can tell people, okay, this is how you make a bowl of cereal. You put a bowl on the table, you put the cereal in first, then the milk, then you put the spoon in, and then you got a bowl of cereal. And I will immediately get 10 like tweets replies saying, "No, you don't have to do it like that. You can put the milk in first and then the cereal, and then you can eat it with a fork if you want to." Like
It's
there's
all gonna float on top.
it's all good. Yeah. So what I'm saying is I can me and you can talk and there's difference between okay, there is different ways to do things. There are different ways to skin a cat, that thing. And then There's different ways of trading. The strat customizes itself to you, but there's still basic rules of how things go. Like if you have the basics, I don't even know why I got on this rant. I just did. But if there's here's the basics, you master the basics, and you're telling me I like to eat. I actually like to eat Cheerios with chopsticks because it keeps all the cereal from getting all too soggy.
Man,
Whatever, whatever.
that's dialing it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you do two at a time? Damn.
So
I need too much milk in on every spoonful.
yeah, yeah. So
As
it's
soon
just
as the
funny. Like
cereal's gone, the milk has to be gone.
yeah, exactly. So what we again going back to these people that make $2,000 in 19 minutes. Those are really good numbers. Uh, it's because, well, where'd you do it? Show me where you did it at. Well, it was inside on the month and inside on the week and inside on the day, but it did go 2-2 reversal back up on the 2 minute charts, and that's what I took. And I tell people I can't get mad at you for you knew what you did, you know what you're doing, and it worked great. But that can't be your end all be all the time because you will wreck yourself doing that stuff. That's
Yeah, you got
yeah.
to. If you're, again, I think for people that are trading, if you're trading, if you're trading shares, there's a little less maintenance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If
Hmm.
there's less maintenance, you just keep moving that stop up.
Hmm.
But then the guys who want to trade options and they want to buy out on time, then that's different.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to that. You're going to have to
Hmm.
nurse that position a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's why people who trade options are more advanced traders. And a
Hmm.
lot of them, they might possibly be doing that for a living,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and whatever other things they might be doing. But yeah, if you're trading shares, the maintenance is pretty easy. And again, it's so yeah, you move your stops out exponentially, and you cover yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so I did before trading shares and trading options. I think they both work for both kinds of traders for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes. Yes.
You know, if you think it's going to go to a certain price over time, and you can buy a call cheap, or you can sell a put and fat, then get at it, you're going to get them credits, and that's
Yeah.
good. But you are going to have to nurse that position. You have to watch it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh
So
yeah.
I think it's a lot easier for people who got jobs every day and got to go do their thing. But I'm sure they're at work there, getting on that phone, checking out what's going
Yeah.
on. They are.
All
I
right. That
mean,
was me.
I
That
mean,
was
I, I,
me.
I do it
Hmm.
myself.
Yeah.
So, if I'm out somewhere, I gotta check it out. I gotta check and see
Yeah.
what's going on with the markets.
Yeah. And that's okay in moderation, and it is fun sometimes. I was just saying it's easy to go overboard. Looking at the inside, so I got 39 inside months. I'm just going to look at some things that are like they're jumping out at me. Apple, you think we'll get that 2-1? It's sheesh. Inside on the month. What's it doing on the week?
It's
Um,
well, it's stuck in the middle with you on the week right
yeah,
now with the
so
one.
bad. Doing nothing for
It's
one,
it
two,
can't
three,
it
four,
can't
five,
even
six,
try.
7 weeks.
I
Yeah.
would say that until I'm looking at the monthly,
Uh-huh.
until you triangle out, and you're not going to triangle out this month now because it's over.
Uh-huh.
We got to get back up into this area. I have a going back here. I got an equilibrium on a weekly, and it was an insider, and it was on 317.25.
Mm.
317.25. I took it's March 17th, St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Nice. I like it. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
look at that, St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Uh, so I went back to that and I put that equilibrium in there, and it's twice it went inside our equilibrium, and twice it shied away.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not buy this stock until it's better.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
rather be buying it at 214 than buying it at 200 spot 85.
Yeah. Yeah.
just because this thing could fall apart again real easy. I mean, it looks like it's starting to shore up, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it either. No
You're
actionable
you're
sick.
gonna you're gonna be coming in an inside month now, probably gonna be red
Yeah.
because the futures all finished the day here today with 215s down red.
Ugh.
So
Yeah.
maybe there's a shot that we get a red month coming back inside.
Yeah.
Um, Again, though, we're going to be no matter out of whatever 100 and something stocks that are going to be inside month. I got to say that probably I bet you 70% of them are going to be inside for sure,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah. Looking at the insiders on TrendSpider for Apple, you got Kevin. I can't say that. This guy named Kevin. He's the senior vice president. I don't know what the I can Parekh. If you,
Parkish
yeah, if you know how to say that, if you know how to pronounce that, type it in the comments in the show. And then he sold 941,000 shares
of
on
Apple.
on Apple on April 23rd, and then Chris Kondo, who is the principal accounting officer, sold 934,000 shares on May 12th. Like, get me out of this. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me say
Wow,
that. I said that wrong. He sold 4,000 shares with a total value of 934. So
not even that long
934 is his
ago.
whole thing. He sold four. Um, and let me read Kevin's again. He sold 5,000 shares out of his
Well,
941,000. Okay, so I read that wrong. So yeah,
the
yeah.
guy
Okay,
the guy
okay.
who sold them on that week was a nice sale. It went the next week was 2-2 down, heavy.
Wow. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
Smart guy.
He didn't even have an actionable signal or anything. It was just like a
No, he
two
was
up,
like,
then
I'm
doing
done
nothing.
with
All of a
this.
sudden, they fell
I'm
apart.
done with this. That brings up
Uh,
Google. So what do you think about so if you're talking about Apple right now, you're talking about Google because Apple said, "Hey, we're not going to do Google for our search engine anymore. We're going to do our own AI search engine." And that's what really made, triangled out Google. I think it recovered. I'm pretty sure Google
but
has
Google,
recovered.
Google is, Google's fighting back.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think Google is. I think it's going to run into more trouble.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just you're going to go to Google or you're going to go to Chat GPT. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
That's a
think I
good
think
question.
Google's for good in a pinch, if you're, if
Yeah.
you're it I think that should be, you know, focus that more into that GPS and business and stuff like that. Like we were just talking about the other day, the old Garmin.
Oh yeah.
Remember the
Yeah.
Garmin?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like told you where restaurants were
Yeah.
and it told you where where gas stations were, so we
Hmm.
didn't have that GPS in our cars back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and another company that we were talking about the other day too was just an amazing company that's still alive. Let's see what they're doing right now. This company, man, these guys might be the biggest geniuses that ever walked the earth, man. It was called Groupon.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Is that still?
I
Yeah, yeah.
mean,
I
it's
just
$29 stock right now,
wow.
and and you can still Groupon.
Yes, I downloaded it again because I was talking to my wife. I was like, "That's so weird you brought that up." I think it was, let's say, 2 months ago because I can't remember. But I told her, I was like, "Remember we used to get on Groupon and like find deals for stuff and like things to do with the kids."
Great deals.
Yeah, I want to learn how
You
to
get
do
like two free
kickboxing.
drinks or something.
Yeah, free. Yeah, you get two free lessons of kickboxing. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Let's see.
Right. So, but here's the thing about Groupon. Groupon, spun that into another business and by selling information. You know,
Oh,
they had information on people on what they bought.
yeah, yeah.
These guys were
Wow.
so far ahead of us.
Yeah,
These guys knew this 20 years ago.
yeah.
I don't know if it was maybe
Wow.
20. It's
Yeah.
going back though, man. I remember my wife with the Groupon all the time. We're going
Yeah.
here, we're getting a Groupon. We're gonna go everywhere we went was a Groupon. We didn't go
Yeah.
out unless there was a freaking Groupon. Um, but these guys were really smart, and they knew what their customers liked, and
Yeah.
then they start selling that to companies like Amazon, and they start selling it to all these other companies that
Wow.
merchant that like when all of a sudden you're talking about popcorn and all of a sudden there's a
Yeah.
popcorn maker on a computer in front of you. It's
Yeah.
like, what's
All of
going
that.
on with
Yeah.
this?
It's
Where'd this
getting
guy come
scary.
from?
It is getting scary. Yeah.
That really got started by Groupon. So Groupon is
Really? That's
yeah,
interesting. They
they were one
blame
of the first
Facebook
guys
for that.
to really to start gathering information about what
Hmm.
people buy
Ah.
and then gearing it towards them so they would use more Groupons,
So
you
yeah, I
know.
was gonna say Facebook always gets blamed for that because Facebook was I thought Facebook was the first one that tracked all your everything that you did, and you know what I mean, and that's how they forced all the advertising in front of your face on things you
Right.
clicked. But it's really Groupon that did it. Weird.
Right. Well, because Facebook didn't come around till 2009.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
believe Groupon was before that. It was definitely
Yeah.
probably before that.
Yeah, you're
And
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Groupon and I don't know if Facebook picked up on that information so quickly
Hmm.
and
Yeah, there was probably a trend like let's try it.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of trial and error with Facebook when it came out at $15 a share.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Yes.
I remember the
Hmm.
IPO. I was still on the Chicago Stock Exchange when that IPO came out.
Hmm.
So Facebook, what's this?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, Nike, let's look at Nike. Is it the
Oh
shoes? Insight on the
God.
month. Is it the shoes? I don't care
Ah,
what Spike Lee says. This thing is inside on the month and getting beat up.
I
And it's shooter on the week. So you got combinations. Do we look for combinations? Yes. Inside on the month, inside on the week, and a shooter. It ain't looking good. I know we don't look at indicators so much in the strap, but looking at the money flow index, this thing is flatlined. It literally is doing nothing.
um, uh, I had a long talk with Nike over the weekend.
Oh no.
We cut the addiction, and I'll see you around 55, bro. And then I'll be your friend again.
There you go. Hey, I like you a lot, but you can't stay here anymore. You gotta
Yeah,
go.
you got to. I can't. You're just too expensive right now.
That's
It's like if you're dating a really hot chick and you're playing above the rim.
yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it's not gonna work out.
yeah.
For a while you're like, hey, look what I got.
Yeah,
Got this thing
yeah,
going on right over here.
yeah.
But it's just like in your head that it's not gonna pan out, but you're
No.
just like just hoping that you just get one more day hanging out with her.
Yeah, she's really nasty when we go out.
Send her a nice text message with a
Yeah,
smiley face or maybe a little heart on there, thinking of you.
yeah. That's
She's like,
hilarious.
she's just getting more and more tired of this guy every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you can't get away with that shit. Um,
No.
but I think Nike's a good company. I think Nike passed on Lululemon. I think that could have been a fit. I think there was some talk about
Yeah.
that Nike and Lululemon might get together.
Uh-huh.
And now look what happened. Now Foot Locker gets taken out, right, by Dick's, I guess, right now. Is that what's
It
going on?
did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think that Dick's is the one that's buying out Foot Locker. Foot Locker's flat now. If you
Wow.
pull it up, it's trading flat. So
Wow.
Foot Locker, I think $26 a share.
Mm.
Um, you know, Dick's. Hey, look at that chart. Oh my God,
Yo, Dick's.
that thing's
Yeah,
down
Dick's
for
is
the
pretty good.
year. I mean,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is it's horrible. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
Dick's has had let me see here,
I mean
DK.
Nike's not great either.
Yeah, DKX. Yeah, it's been
Well,
having a hard.
It just popped the other day now because it
Hmm.
had earnings.
Hmm.
And I go this. I told my guys, I'm like, do not. I mean, we'll probably get a little run out of this, but get ready for the triangle. I'll protect it as you go up.
Yeah, and a lot of this is they did so well during COVID, and they did so well when everybody else was not because they had the camping stuff, they had the go out inside and play with their kids stuff, You want to ride bikes, they got it. You want to go fishing and hunting, they got it. And Dick's really did. They survived all of that very well. And then they had all this inventory that they couldn't get rid of. And because it's all working, so buy more. And now they don't know what to do with all the bicycles and all the stuff. And
Right.
um,
And they're
mhm,
probably sitting on fat leases too because their stores are not,
mhm.
their stores are, 15,000 square feet, if not more.
Yeah,
I like Cabela's over there
yeah.
in Northwest
Oh yeah,
Indiana.
yeah,
I go
yeah,
to that Cabela's over there in Hammond,
yeah. I like
but
Cabela's. Hmm.
Cabela's is great. They got good clothes. So any shoe anyway. I think that Nike. I just don't. I just think that she's gonna have to triangle out some
Well,
more.
yeah, we are talking about Nike. We're talking about Dick's. Uh, Looking at the sector for XRT retail as a whole has
It's
not been doing well at all. At all. And then the whole talk about tariffs, it's making it even worse. I drew a broadening formation on XRT retail, and it's in 2022, and that was when I was still working with Rob, and it's still sitting in the same broadening formation. It never went to all-time highs. It's never went to the lows. It's just trading sideways. I'll have to take a picture of this and
Well,
send it to you.
it got killed on the and well that was 22. It got
Tw-
killed in the first quarter of 22,
Yeah.
and then in 23,
And then look at
uh,
24. Soon as 24, I mean,
yeah, 20.
everything else, I guess everything did go down in the first quarter of 24. So that's
Yeah,
not, but it still traded sideways and everything was all-time
yeah,
highs.
it chopped. It's kind of
Yeah.
choppy.
So
I
let
don't
me
know.
put,
I mean,
mhm.
I think you can only squeeze so much out of retail at the end of the day, because
Yeah.
numbers are gonna because sales are sales are clicking every day,
Yeah.
and or not clicking every day.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell,
Hmm.
Um, I when I look at retail, I love Target, right? Because it's
Yeah.
super undervalued right now. All
Hmm.
right. And Target, I don't believe I don't believe they buy. I believe they pay leases for their properties for sure. I don't think they're
Hmm.
shelling out that kind of cash. But they're making smaller stores now in more,
Mm.
especially in Chicago. We got more local stores now. It's like now we got like a mini Dick's.
Okay. Sorry.
If you're into that kind of thing,
I was
if
13
you're
years old
if
for a
you're
hot
into that
second. I'm
kind of thing,
sorry.
and then they have like that store Michaels.
Yeah.
There are people go
Yeah.
there that buy yarn and stuff and paint and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. I
You got
know.
a mini one.
I've seen one of these in Pennsylvania. I was in yeah, Was it Pittsburgh? Yeah, Pittsburgh, and it's a different Dick's store. It's like where they send the. I want to say it was when I saw the store. It was where they send all their stuff they can't, like clearance items.
Right.
Maybe
So
I'm
like
wrong.
when I go out to the suburbs,
Uh-huh.
when I go out to Naperville,
Yeah.
you got everything, you got all
Yeah.
the big stores. TJ Maxx in Naperville is
Yeah.
massive. And then
Wow.
if I bring you to my TJ Maxx over on the corner of Irving and Narragansett,
Uh-huh.
it's about the size of a half of an old jewel store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like everything is shrunk down, and
Weird.
I think but I think that for them to have a presence in there, they've got over 900 stores all over the world. I mean, this company is they do very well. This TJ
Mm-hmm.
Maxx, I mean, they
Uh-huh.
got their act together.
Uh-huh.
Um, and
Look
I
at this.
think that, doing what they're doing by that, getting into smaller locations, just having a presence
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a great store and everybody knows it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Let
that's
me switch. I'm gonna
and
switch gears.
that's on retail,
Yeah, retail. Yes. Switch gears just a little bit. Something I think it's surprising. AT&T telephone T inside on the month,
Wonderful.
but it along with that, it is three. No, it's 2-2 continuation up on the year. And I used to make fun of AT&T all the time because I'm like, it makes a dollar, it loses a dollar, and and they do pay good dividends. So I was like, if you're holding it for dividends, great. But from no, October 2023 to now, it went from 15 bucks. Now it's trading at 27. I mean, and it's inside on the week. I mean, that could be a good slow mover for even, I would say, even for the beginner that wants to trade options. I mean, it's slow, and
And and
you're not gonna be sweating watching this.
and it's going to give you a 12% dividend.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
pays a fat dividend.
Yeah. Super fat.
I mean, how do you not want to be in telephone? I mean, you're collecting a nice dividend, and
Yeah.
now she's actually, now they're into the, modems, and they're getting into
Yeah.
that business, which they were already in the business. I
Yeah.
think they had the wrong people running the show, and now they got the right people running the
Yeah.
show, and I think that's why AT&T is making a comeback.
Yeah.
Um, I was an AT&T guy forever with the
Mm-hmm.
phone in the house, and
Mm-hmm.
I got rid of all that. You used to, like, if one person was on a channel and another person was on a channel, the other TV would go off, and there was just all this nonsense that was going. And then the kids would come out yelling, saying, "You turn my channel off!"
Yeah.
Because like we had five
Yeah.
bedrooms with five different TVs in every
Yeah.
room, and everyone's coming out saying, "I didn't touch your channels." So, but I think that AT&T is doing all the right things right now for
Yeah.
sure, man. And CNBC talks a lot about them too.
Really
Yeah, they've been
interesting.
chatting them up pretty good too.
Interesting.
I like that. I like that 2-2 year up that I'm looking at right there now. It's kind
Yeah.
of wicked up there, man, but that looks nice.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
it's got kind of a hammer on the quarter
yeah.
or on the month, but that is not a hammer. It's just a doji.
Yeah, that's true. And then switching gears one more time, one thing that I've been telling people, stop looking for double inside weeks, triple inside weeks. I
No,
don't know
stay
if you make
away.
it's stuck. And I get on, they don't like it when I do that because I'm like, because I don't understand why they do that. Maybe they gravitate to that stuff because it's easy to see, but I don't get it.
Maybe they
Anyway,
maybe maybe they just like burning time
yeah, that's true.
because that's all
It's
you're doing.
Johnny John, Johnson and Johnson, inside on the month. It did finally go 2-1-2 up on the week, but it is trading sideways, doing nothing. Um, any news on Johnny
Um,
John? That's healthcare as a whole is not doing great. I mean,
oh,
my
I know, but
entire yeah,
I think that they still got time, yeah, to get better here. But
yeah.
what was the one I was looking at that looked good?
Maybe they need
Um,
some of that medicine you were talking
yeah,
about.
they need some more medicine. Yeah, I like um, I like Amgen a little bit.
Okay, okay. Let me see if Amgen's on
I
this
got
list.
buyers on the month. I got buyers on the week, and I had buyers on the day. Um, the year is kind of shooterish, but it's inside. Look at
Amgen.
that. Amgen is 2-1 inside on the year.
Mm-hmm. Looking at it now, Amgen. Yep.
So that tells me that she
Hmm.
probably ain't getting out of that year.
Yeah, but it's definitely a hammer on the month. I mean, yeah, because this month's over. Yeah, it's over, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So,
don't know. Maybe if that,
oh
eh.
yeah, it is double. It looks like forming a shooter on the year. We got a lot of year left, but it's already. Ooh, we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. We'll see what they want to do.
Yeah, I don't know about healthcare. I mean, I think they're still like overhauling a lot of stuff, So
Yeah,
the insurers have taken a horrible beating.
yeah.
They're trying to shore up a little bit.
Yeah, the guy,
So
the guy who thought it would be a good idea to take his grandkids out swim in a creek full of sewage is telling us that we can't have any farmer commercials on TV no more. So that's wrecking all this stuff too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Did you hear
There you,
about that?
no, I didn't hear that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Oh gosh, what's this? RF, oh, you know him. the healthcare guy. Shoot, why am I blanking on this? Because I make fun of him all the time. That's why. Anyway, uh, he took his kids down to swim in a creek, and he's like head underwater in this creek, and there's cameras there. I don't know, maybe he posted it or whatever, I think. And it's the most polluted creek in DC, and it's
Wow.
nasty. Yeah, it is nasty. And they're like, why did you have your kids in that, your grandkids in there? And
Trying to
ooh,
give him some immunity.
that's probably what he was trying to say. Yeah, yeah. RFJ, RFK, sorry.
What
RFK.
what did the
We didn't care. He didn't care.
who was the comedian back in the day? Oh God, I can't think of his name now. George
Oh,
something.
uh,
What was his name?
George Carlin.
No, 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 no. He was very popular. Oh God, what's his name? I
What
can't think
did
of it right now. But he used to say, he goes, he's like, these kids don't have immunity anymore. You want to get immunity? You go into the Hudson River and you swim in the Hudson River. He goes, I'll show you immunity. They redid some of his videos and they added Trump into some of his videos. And the funny,
uh
this guy was spot on about a lot of things many years ago that have come
yeah.
to fruition today.
George
I'll think
Carlin. I'm
of his.
pretty sure you're talking about George Carlin.
Yeah,
Maybe.
George Carlin. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Maybe I said it wrong,
yeah,
but yeah, George
yeah.
Carlin. Yeah.
George Carlin. So he
Yeah.
he he was really ahead of his time,
Yeah, and I
in
didn't
a lot of
understand. He
sense.
was so I was really I grew up on Eddie Murphy. I grew up on Arsenio Hall, like those comedians, Richard Pryor, those are my comedians. You know what I mean? Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, those type of comedians. And George Carlin would come on. We're not supposed to be watching HBO, but we watch HBO and we're watching George Carlin. I just didn't get it. I was way too young for it. You know what I mean? I'll say
Right.
that. But it was just like my eyes would just glaze over. I'm like, what's the funny part in this? I'd rather watch. I'd rather give me. No, I was gonna
I
say
think.
Godfrey. It's not Godfrey. Um, the guy that would smash watermelons. Come on, give
Oh
me that.
yeah, yeah. He had the red head. They
Yeah.
called him the clown or something like that.
No, no, not him. That's Carrot Top. No, no, no. The
Carrot
guy
Top.
who,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
oh gosh, he was a
Oh,
comedian. Smash watermelons all the time.
um,
Why am I
was it?
blanking on this? I'm so bad. I gotta Google it. I'm doing it.
Is that one of the guys who he got ran over by a truck in Arizona? What was his
Oh,
name?
that was
It's
that was Tracy
start.
Morgan. He's back. He's good now. He's better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Jim Gallagher. Gallagher.
Oh, okay. Yes, 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 yes.
Gallagher. Yeah, smashing watermelons. Anyway. I guess we should wrap it up. I guess I'm having a good time, but I guess we should wrap it up. What's your
Yeah,
final ideas? I know what the reason why I wanted to say at the beginning of this whole thing is not the weekend shift because some people I'm sure are sitting at home going, well, they only talked about 4 or 5 stocks, and the Strat we're known for talking about 15, 20 stocks in just minutes because we communicate quickly. But this is not the weekend shift. This is just looking at the market, seeing what's happening on the month. Give us what's our azimuth, what's our marching orders, like JJ said, and then seeing what's going on. And there's 139 inside months for June, and they can
yeah.
go either way. They can go to the highs, they can go to the lows. So, what's your
Right,
final
and I,
thoughts?
and I- well, and I think that I think the difference in perspective is important.
Hmm.
Sometimes you see things that like I given you a couple stocks before, and you'd be like, "What the hell are you giving me that stock for?" And then I'd be like, "Okay," so it's like, so I look at things the way I look at things, and you look at the way you look at things, and
Yeah,
I think we put that blend together, and it becomes something that we kind of meet in the middle and find that spot.
yeah,
So yeah, my thoughts going forward about the markets, and I guess that's what we really, really, really here to talk about. Again, I'm looking for. I'd like to see this market. We're so damn close to the highs. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to go get them now, right? I
Yes.
mean, we're at this point now where, where it's like 13, $14 or something like that on the cues. All right.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it'd be a shame if we didn't get that and then they turned around and puked.
Yeah.
But I think that what I like to see, I like to get through there, make up some higher highs, and then look and see how weeks start to turn after that. All
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Um, is there rates cuts coming? Is that going to rate cuts would definitely have would definitely have interest, but a lot of this stuff is in the market right now. Even a lot of these tariffs, a lot of it is in the market right now.
Uh,
So
like like priced in, you mean?
yeah, just by
Yeah.
price and everything. I think
Hmm.
it's a lot of it is all in here right now.
Hmm.
And we're carrying a lot of fat right now. So I think so that's my thoughts. Higher from here, and then looking for a reversal, come back down. And what better place is it to look at on charts than being at the top of the broadening formation, looking to try to find something. What would Rob say there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? This is
Yeah.
where it happens. This is where
Yes.
it happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So the buyers got to keep buying, and if they don't, we know what to look for. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. Right,
Yeah.
right. When it dries up, and right now, again, I'll go back to Tesla.
Hmm.
Definitely going back to 394,
Hmm.
but I'll let you know when the marching.
Yes. So I like it. This is a good conversation. This was a great conversation.
I mean, this might be a good opportunity right here for Tesla with this puker down.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I mean, it could.
this could be a good opportunity right here.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
Uh,
I'll be paying attention to it next week. I always keep it off on the side over here, but I got it up.
yeah,
I
yeah.
only watch it on 60-minute bars. I don't really watch it any other time unless I pull it up on the big screen and then I'll see the month and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. But I try to focus on just looking at it. Yeah, I think if you look at one time frame for a long period of time, I think you will really kind of become a better trader. Now, obviously, you're going to have to look at your bigger time frames and everything, but
Hmm.
you're going to know where your range is, where you're going to know where your support is, and where you're going to know where your resistance
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Kind of
If
like
you
the
watch them enough, that's like hourly charts I like to watch.
Yeah, I like hourly charts too. That what you said kind of brought up some Jake from he's on Twitter. I can't pronounce his last name, but Jake used to be with TrendSpider. He talked a lot about and still does about knowing the personality of the stock. And I think what you're saying definitely would fit. Like you're watching the stock on the 60 minutes and you're like, here it goes. Tesla, watch Tesla go $10 up and then here it comes $10 down. And so then when that's what it does, it's not such a shock. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same thing with AT&T. You're like, it's going to the highs, but it's just moseying along up there, like it's getting there. But
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, I don't look at yearly charts a lot.
uh,
But that AT&T chart looks freaking amazing.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
that's nice. That's two year up. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe this thing could have another nice 6 months.
Definitely, definitely. So I agree with you. I think we'll get to all-time highs. I think the market's not going to give a crap anything more about tariffs. I think they're going to just be like, okay, and then we're going to hit 615, maybe higher. I don't use extended Fibonacci's and all that crap, but I think we'll go higher, and then the regular flow of things with seasonality of July, August, September. I think that'll be the time we might get that triangle layout where everything just goes, and then
Right.
just kind of dog. Rob used to call it dog days of summer, and it ain't doing nothing. We'll
Right,
see.
exactly. Yeah, it's summertime, but yeah, you know what? One of the things that I say to my guys a lot, I'm like, it's like we were talking about Tesla. I go, I want to get to 394 because I want to know what the temperature's like there.
Ooh, mm-hmm.
What's the temperature there?
Yeah.
Is she hot? Is she cold? Where's she at? She did a lot of running. She might be tired. Maybe
I'll
she getting
put
some new kicks.
Yeah.
Looking for
Just want to
another
put my big toe
run.
in. I want to put my big toe in,
So yeah, it's
start a
one of the
small
things.
position.
That's one of the things that I say to our guys a lot. I'll be like, what's the temperature there?
Yeah.
It's like hot, cold,
Yeah.
98 degrees, 84 degrees,
Yeah.
22 degrees. What's going on over here? So yeah, getting to places that we, but what I could say, if you're not searching for something that you want to get to, find a way to get the target before you even get into the position.
Oh
I
yeah.
say all the time, know where you're going to get out before you get in, and then it's going to be a
Ah.
lot easier to think about it too because you're like, damn, I'm going there.
Yeah.
That's where the
Yeah.
confidence comes in.
I love it. I love it. I tell my guys, I do this this is your new trading mantra. I do this on the weekend shit. You've seen it before the Strat Camp webinar. Your new mantra is I create winning positions, add to them, and defend them with tight stops. And you're going to say that before you trade. You're going to say it while you're trading, and you're going to say it after you get done. And then you can always take those phrases and turn them into questions. Is this a winning position? Yes or no? Can I add to this? If it's a winner, you're looking for those ways to add to it. If it's a loser, you're definitely not adding the losers, you know. And then
Right.
and then the last question is the last statement comes into a question like where are my stops at? Where am I? Where? Oh, I don't have no stops in this. Oh, okay, I must be gambling. No, 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 no. I'm gonna put some stops in. You know. So I like
Yeah,
what
I
you're
know.
saying too.
Listen. Protect, 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 man.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be a cowboy.
No.
And then you got to get a hat and a horse and some boots and shit. And then you got to move down to Texas. Everything gets weird, man.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing now. You got a whole thing. All of a sudden, you got to buy a really big ass belt buckle,
Yeah.
the big kicks
Jeez.
and stuff. And now you're like hanging around, in clubs doing line dancing and stuff. It's like your whole image changes.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna end it on that note. That was awesome. That was awesome. I loved it. Let me see here. Hold on. I got to get the stuff and things. Hold on. All right. Thank you so much, JJ, for being here. To everybody else, go check out thestratsoldier.com. Um, go check out Hammer Enforce, the new Hammer Enforce ebook. One actionable signal that you can use to trade anything, commodities, forex, crypto, all that stuff. And then go see Sepier Group. Go see JJ at Sepier Group. Go check them out. That that
Yeah.
that Discord's
Subscribe to
not.
me on YouTube too, on YouTube
Yes,
there.
yeah, definitely like and subscribe to both of us, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. For
But
the
yeah,
both
yeah,
of us.
yeah. And if you're listening to me, JJ definitely does exactly like we have our own styles, but we definitely do it like Rob did, and that's what we're definitely keeping that alive and paying homage to Rob by doing it like he taught us. So thank you so much, JJ. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye.